Why almost everyone needs to supplement magnesium. In today's video, we're going to go into the science and why most of us need to supplement magnesium. The research is showing that over 75% of the population is deficient in magnesium, and what forms of magnesium I personally take and other forms that you can take to help get your magnesium levels increased. Let's go. Let's talk about magnesium and stress. Yes, stress. It's that companion of modern life that we all deal with. From work deadlines to daily errands, it feels like we're constantly racing against the clock. But what if I told you there's a simple, natural solution out there to help your body deal with stress better? Enter magnesium. Magnesium is one of those minerals that it doesn't get the attention it deserves. It's an unsung hero, and it's evident because most people in the world die from heart disease. And guess what organ needs more magnesium than any organ in the body? You guessed it, the heart. And this is something you really want to pay attention to, especially if you feel the weight on your shoulders. If you're feeling pressed for time, if you're dealing with anxiety, depression, if you're dealing with never being able to feel like you're getting anything done, then you definitely want to look at magnesium supplementation. Because I know I used to feel that way, and it wasn't until I really started to understand meditation and magnesium supplementation that things really started to change for me. So why is magnesium so important? Well, it turns out that magnesium governs over 300 different biochemical reactions in the body, and it's one of the main minerals needed by our nervous system. So if stuff is getting on your nerves, if someone's getting on your nerves, then more than likely you're burning through magnesium. What'd you say? Yeah, burning. See, magnesium also has a burn rate. So not only is it in control of all of these biochemical reactions, we can actually burn through magnesium due to the amount of stress that we undergo. But not just stress. And it could also be good stress too. Let's clarify this, guys, because good stress like lifting weights or maybe running, doing little exercise, playing tennis, this is good stress for the body. But it turns out whether it's good stress or bad stress, we burn through magnesium. This is another reason why active people need to really pay attention to this video and think about supplementing magnesium more than just regular people that sit around. Not that regular people should be sitting around. I'm just saying your burn rate is going to be increased the more active you are. And if you deal with stress and you're active, then your burn rate is even higher. So looking at supplementing magnesium is definitely something you want to look into. So some of those 300 biochemical reactions that I'd really like to just point out here, some of the top ones that we all really want to focus on is muscle tension, muscle recovery, and muscle function. Magnesium is a key player in this. And not only that, energy production. So many people are grabbing caffeine or grabbing stimulants to get their energy going. But at the end of the day, have they supplemented magnesium? It's something that you might want to look into because it's directly correlated to our ATP production, adenosine triphosphate. And this is basically our energy currency of the body. And not only does magnesium play a crucial role in what I just mentioned, one of the main things that we want to look at is our heart and heart rhythm. Again, so many people are dying from heart disease and the rhythm of their heart is off. I don't know how many times I get emails about like palpitations, like my heart rhythm is off. And what that tells me is that this person is extremely stressed out and they're more than likely deficient in magnesium due to the stress. Because again, there's a burn rate and we have to remember this. And that's why supplementing magnesium is so crucial. But there's also some cool, interesting facts too. One of the kickers that I learned about is how magnesium actually helps us deal with stress. So how magnesium actually helps us deal with stress is closely related to our nervous system. When we get stressed out, our nervous system, our things start getting on our nerves. And this activity is a very high energy activity that happens inside of us. Basically, we get all amped up. Our breathing can get shallower, our brain waves change, and magnesium is a key player in keeping everything in homeostasis. So even though magnesium is a key player in helping us manage stress, if we don't have enough magnesium in our body and we're stressed out, again, this is increasing our burn rate, which is increasing the need for amount of magnesium that our body is now requiring. You see, magnesium is helping regulate our neurotransmitters in our body. and it's also helping our production of GABA. And these things are closely related again to our nervous system. So just a little bit of science as to why and how magnesium actually helps us deal with stress. The other way that magnesium helps us deal with stress is our cortisol levels. Now, we all need a little bit of cortisol, but when cortisol gets elevated for too long periods of time, it can wreak havoc on our body. It can literally shut our body down. Like, you can't even digest food if you have high cortisol. I know you guys have all heard, or maybe you haven't, of fight or flight. So the idea here is like back when we were hunter-gatherers. Normally, we'd be hunting for food or we'd be getting chased by animals, and this would cause our cortisol to rise up, and this would actually keep us alive. So it's a defense mechanism. What's interesting though, is that so many of us are stressed out and our cortisol is elevated and we're not moving, we're not running away from anything. We're literally physically just sitting, dealing with the stress. And this can cause even more of a detrimental effect on our physiology than if we were actually physically getting chased by an animal, because we'd either get eaten by the animal and die, or we'd get away from the animal and things would downregulate. But the fact that we were actually physically moving our body and running and our heart rate went up, it would correlate for us to be able to actually get that cortisol to drop back down. The caveat again is that most of us aren't getting chased by animals. Most of us are sitting and we're stagnant and we're dealing with massive amounts of this stress. What's interesting though is that it's all mental, which is a hermetic principle, right? Just through the mental perceptions that we create in life, we literally are our own worst enemies. We're creating our own stress, because what might seem stressful to one person isn't stressful for another. I see people deal with things that are way more stressful for me, and I wonder how they deal with so much stress. But it's their perception, and it's the work that they do that allows them to be able to handle the amount of stress that they allow themselves to be under. And this is why I believe everyone needs to meditate. And when we start to understand meditation, we see a direct correlation as to why and how our magnesium burn rate can affect us. Another thing that magnesium helps us deal with is inflammation. So again, guys, over 300 biochemical reactions, but if we're inflamed, this is gonna cause stress on our body as well. So we have to take this into major consideration. We're talking about everything almost, right, in our life and our day that magnesium has a direct connection with. So due to all the things that I just mentioned, from the burn rate of magnesium to the fact that it governs over 300 biochemical reactions, the idea of your cortisol, the idea of your nervous system, your neurotransmitters, your ATP production, which is the energy currency of your cells, your ability to get deep sleep, magnesium is a key player, guys. So we definitely want to pay attention and check it out. And for me personally, I found that supplementing magnesium bicarbonate is the best form of magnesium that I have seen from my blood work, my before and after blood works, to actually get my magnesium levels to rise. And the main thing I love about magnesium bicarbonate, guys, is the way it makes me feel. I've taken almost every magnesium supplement in the world. I eat magnesium-rich foods, but it wasn't until I started supplementing magnesium bicarbonate, which I have to actually make. It wasn't until I did this that I really started to see the game change. And if you're interested in learning how I make my own magnesium bicarbonate, I'm gonna link a video at the end of this video that'll allow you to be able to go right to that video and you can learn how I make the most potent form of magnesium bicarbonate. It's a little bit of a science experiment, but it costs pennies. And I know there's a lot of very expensive magnesium supplements out there, and I know there's a lot of cheap ones out there, and most of the cheap ones don't move the needle for me at all. Now, I don't want to go into all the different forms of magnesium and which one's good and which one's best. Maybe that's for a later video. But I do want to share with you guys what forms of magnesium have worked the best for me. And the number one form of magnesium that I have found for my friends, my family, and my community is magnesium bicarbonate. This is a form of magnesium that you actually have to make. You get USP grade, if you can find it, magnesium hydroxide, and you add this to carbonated water. A reaction takes place and the carbonation turns those hydroxides into bicarbonates. And you see, guys, we have a bicarbonate buffering system in our body. It's actually in our pancreas. So our bicarbonate buffering system wants this exact form of magnesium. And this system is in control of keeping our body alkaline. And it also has a lot to do with our digestion as well. So this is one of the most powerful forms of magnesium that we can get. And in a perfect world, we would get it in our water. But we know our water is contaminated. We're stripping our water out through purification because we have to, but are we adding it back in? And even though I love adding sea salt to my water, I love eating magnesium-rich foods like dark chocolate, it wasn't until I started making my own magnesium bicarbonate that I saw my blood levels change. And look, you can buy magnesium bicarbonate on the market, and I've bought it before, already made for me, but it's super expensive and it's not as potent as what you can make at home. So again, if you're interested and you want to learn how to make the most potent, cheap form of magnesium in the body that your body actually wants, that your body was designed to have, that when nature left alone was in perfect balance, then I would check out the video that I'm going to link at the end of this video, and I'll put it in the description below because it has absolutely changed my life. And if you have any questions or comments, or if there's anything I mentioned or touched on that you'd like me to elaborate on, please leave that below in the comment section and I'll be sure and get that video shot for you guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you like, subscribe, share, comment, it really helps me produce more videos and I would greatly appreciate it. And I really just want to get some feedback from you guys. I am community driven. I love community. I'm all about community, and I'm building a community here for you guys to learn what I've learned and what I've experienced over 15 years of working one-on-one with people. And man, it's crazy. All the stuff that we've been taught, all the stuff that we've learned. And at the same time, it's crazy. It's a massive blessing to be here now. So I'm so excited to be here now, shooting this video with you guys that have supported me all this time. Thank you and God bless. My name is Charles Barber, and thanks for watching this video on why we should all supplement magnesium.